Hey everyone, my name is Joey Thomas, entrepreneur and small business educator with 17 hats. Today, we're going to dive into 5 mistakes that every small business should try to avoid. So, if you have just started a small business, I am pretty sure that you've already made a few mistakes along the way. We live and learn, right? Well, don't worry too much because failure is a part of growth. But some mistakes can be quite costly and end up in a cycle or an endless cycle that some people just really can't get out of. So, although failure is a part of success, we want to try to avoid as many failures as possible. I think we can both agree on that. So let's just dive right in and talk about 5 mistakes that all small businesses should try to avoid. Let's dive in. Number 1, failing to plan. Yes, you have heard the phrase, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's 100% true. No one should be operating in the dark when it comes to running a business. If you don't have goals and a plan of how you will meet those goals, you have no way to measure your success or even pivot when you need to. So there's a few areas that you want to really develop a plan around. And remember, you don't have to do this by yourself. Get with a buddy, get with a business partner, get with a mentor or a coach, and work through these things together. So here's some 3 areas. 1 is an overall business plan. Now, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who've never ever built out a business plan before. Research shows that those who created a business plan were twice as likely to successfully have grown their businesses. So a business plan, in a nutshell, it's a snapshot of your company and its values, its mission, its vision, the financial needs of a company, and even the market that you serve. It gives you a whole picture of what you're trying to accomplish and why. And so once you have a picture, you can start breaking it down a little bit more. The second type of plan you will want to think about is a financial plan. This is a section of your business plan that'll take your cost of doing business, your cost of goods, and your overall profitability of your business once you spend it on marketing and overhead and all of that good stuff, because you want to know, do you have a viable business? Can you make a living out of this, right? So a financial plan is really important. And number 3, a marketing plan. A marketing plan, in a nutshell, it's just a plan to identify your target market and how to reach them. And so once you figure out how to reach them, you're gonna figure out how do you speak to them, the personality, the voice, and how you speak, the different methods, social media outlets. You can write all of that down and then set goals for each of those things. If you know what you want to accomplish in your overall business plan, you can create a marketing strategy to get you there. Okay. So the second mistake is pricing yourself too low. Now, hear me out. It's really tempting to come into the market wanting to give the most bang for your buck and the most value while competing on price. A lot of us feel that that is the way to jump into the market. Here's the challenge. If you do that and you come in and you're priced too low, the challenge is you better get real comfortable where you are, because your brand identity oftentimes gets tied into your price point. So you want to price yourself valuing your own time and the meaning of the product or service to your potential client. So many times, if it is priced too low, it creates doubt about the quality of your offerings. Also, extremely low pricing has a tendency to draw in less quality clientele. All right. And number 3, spending too much money on the wrong things. Let's take photographers, for example. It's an area I'm very familiar with. It's quite easy to spend oodles of money on expensive brands of lighting and modifiers and sets and backdrops, etc., before investing in things like education or marketing or your website. I personally spent $20,000 to $30,000 a year on part-time employees, hoping that they could do a fraction of what 17 Hats can do for me with substantially less. Once I started using 17 Hats to manage my clients and send invoice and automate a lot of the processes, it was way more efficient than training a new employee to do those things, and I saved thousands of dollars. Also, you want to invest in the basics as you build your brand, your skill set and your systems. Then you start putting, after that, you want to start putting money into marketing before you start buying expensive gear and getting yourself a bigger space or adding employees and such. It'll just save you thousands. So don't spend money on the wrong things. All right, the fourth mistake. You try to do everything by yourself. Now, I understand that there is a feeling of accomplishment in wearing every hat in your business, but there's a cost associated with it. We just are not good at everything. We can't be. There's just not enough time in the day to be good and an expert on everything. We will end up spending a lot of times on the things that we're weak at, trying to do it better, and very little time on the things that come naturally. For example, I can spend hundreds of hours trying to design a logo, build a website, or even write web copy and still not be able to make it what I want because frankly, I'm just not a pro at it, right? I could spend in 100 hours of that work, I've done a fraction of what I could possibly do. Or I can delegate that task to a professional and then allow me to put my efforts into things that I am really good at, like vendor relationships and or I can go get additional training or even just build my craft. And I could take much less time doing that to cause a greater impact, right? You want to focus your energy on your strengths and maximize the potential of your strengths and not spending all of your time in things you're just really not that good at. Leave that to the professionals. And that brings us to number 5. Poor social media and online presence. Social media is a great avenue to infuse personality and a human touch to what you do and offer. It can be daunting if you are researching on how to best utilize all the algorithms or the best time to post on Instagram versus Facebook versus LinkedIn. It can get daunting. I just read something on Instagram to take full advantage. I have to post 10 times a week or 6 stories and this many lives and all of this stuff. And I by the end of it, I'm just like, that is too much. I cannot do that. I don't have time for all of that. So I can make a decision. I can either outsource it to somebody that I trust, to a professional, or I can make it a little easier by using one of the dozen online tools that will allow me to plan, schedule, or post to my accounts. And I don't have to do all 10 of the posts in 1 week. I could start with 1, 2, or 3 and just build it up as the habits get built up. So that is, we have a tendency that when we do a lot of research about things like social media, that if we feel like it's all or nothing. You know what? Doing 1 post this week might be more than you did last week. So start small. And the other thing in online is about your website. Now, let's be honest. Have you ever been asked about your website or what your website address was, and you immediately followed it up with, well, I'm in the process of updating my website. It's kind of old, but you know what? It'll be up soon. Be honest. When's the last time you said that? You may have even said that when you handed a business card to someone last, and you said, oh, the website's under construction. You know you have. Again, partner up with a pro, find, and commit your time to things that you know you're really great at so that you can be efficient and really get some things done. Now, we know that failures and pitfalls are absolutely inevitable, but let's do ourselves a favor and avoid as many of them as possible. So in a recap, the 5 areas that you want to try to avoid failure is 1, failing to plan, right? Having a business plan, having a financial plan, having a marketing plan up front is so key. Number 2, pricing yourself too low. You will just put yourself right smack middle of the wrong segment of the market If you're not trying to do high volume, you're going to just find yourself in a place where you're not happy and serving a type of client that you're not happy with. Number three, spending too much money on the wrong things. Let's put things in perspective and spend money where it's going to make the greatest impact. Like education, like software, like a CRM, like 17 Hats. You want to do something that makes the greatest impact and really sets you down that path of really being an entrepreneur. Number four, you try to do everything yourself. Let's just accept that we really can't wear all the hats, and as much as possible delegate and outsource the things that we are just not that great at. And even if you're great, there's only so much time in the day to do so. And number five, poor social media and online presence. Let's make sure that even if we cannot post 10 times a week, let's post one or two, and let's start working on that website. I know there's a lot of pages on your website and a lot of content. Start with one thing. Start with your About page. As a matter of fact, in a video in the future, I'll be talking about crafting a really good About page. So guys, just know, like I said, failures and pitfalls, they're inevitable. Let's just do what we can to avoid as many of them as possible. Although many are easy to recover from, accumulation of these mistakes can make it very difficult to successfully grow your business. So I hope these 5 tips were helpful and that you're able to put it into practice immediately. So guys, if you loved this video, click like and please subscribe to our channel. I'll be back with more videos just like this. I will see you soon.